Hey everyone, just want to share my thoughts on a Zoom call that I did this evening, and it was with a teacher called Shinzen Young. So tonight he was doing calls on regarding this whole COVID-19 epidemic that's going on. And one of his last questions that were asked that he had answered kind of brought tears to my eyes as he was speaking. It was so elegant. It was about, well, actually I forget what the question was, but his answer went into quite some depth about consciousness, about the subtleties of being aware of different levels of perception that go on during a time of crisis, during a time of uncertainty. And one of the things that he said, it was a message for meditators, was during a time like this, we should be shaken. We should be stirred, not shaken. And he was referring to James Bond's martini, which is shaken, not stirred. And as a meditator, or if you have a practice of self-awareness, a time like this you should be stirred, not shaken. And that really hit me. That moved me quite a bit. I just started, as tears came out. This was great. I haven't cried in a long time. And my takeaway from that is that there's so many subtleties to life, and if we're shaken by something, we lose our power. We lose our ability to be with the situation, and especially in a time when there's complete uncertainty, and there's not much wisdom in that. Now, if you've developed a practice, or if you started a practice of mindfulness, of meditation, where you can just spend a short period of time throughout the day of just being present to the breath, or some sort of object, or some sort of a practice of just coming back to yourself, it's possible to be stirred but not shaken. And those are two different things, because if you're shaken, you're overtaken by what's happening. If you're stirred, there could be a bubbling up of enlightened action to do. Instead of raging against something, there could be a movement towards achieving an objective in an inspired way. And that could be something for the world, or it could be something for your personal life, where if just dealing with the situation with creditors, let's say, now there's a lot of people that are having to deal with creditors, or with even an illness of a loved one or someone close to you, or there's so many scenarios right now, and it seems like a compressor where everything's just sort of come together, and there's so many heightened situations, and this whole current episode has just exacerbated a lot of things that have been lingering under the surface. And so now we're sort of facing a situation where we have to look at it or deal with it. And the idea that you can be stirred and not shaken is super appealing to me, because I've even noticed, as much as, for whatever work I think I've done, I've found myself shaken by some things, and I have to catch myself and realize, what's the practice? What is the trajectory for the work that I've been doing? How do we benefit each other? And when we're shaken, it's really hard to benefit someone else, because we get into that place of survival, really. So, and it's not just survival. There's there's so much energy behind that when we're being shaken, that we lose our ability to see the wisdom in it. We lose our ability to heal. We lose our ability to really get a good grasp of the situation. But when we're stirred, there's more of a heart energy there, and there's some sort of a wisdom and a subtlety to it, where we can maybe have a sense of excitement for the day without needing to know how it's going to turn out. And I think from experience that we all know is that when we approach the day in that way, with that possibility, is it generally leads to circumstances and situations that are more beneficial for taking care of our life, and the things around us and the people around us. I know this is probably my first type of video like this, but I just wanted to share that I was moved by this idea of being stirred and not shaken, And it's a really, really good reminder to touch in with the feelings and allow the feelings to come up, not get them too caught up in the mind of the thoughts that we attach to our feelings, and just notice this energy. There's energy there. There's energy happening, and there's the gross level of energy, which is just all these thoughts that come on, overlay on top of it. But there's a subtlety to the energy, and sometimes that subtlety can show us something else that's attached to it, and it can start to bring things up that need to be healed. And I think this situation that the world is in right now, a lot of healing needs to happen. And so if we can do that on an individual level, is work with our own stuff to allow the healing to happen, that can have a huge impact on the rest of the world. And starting, the place to start is with our own lives. So I would like to hear if anybody has any thoughts on this idea of being stirred but not shaken. This is not mine. This is I got this from Shinzen Young just tonight on one of his calls. So I would love to hear more feedback on this. I think it's such a powerful message for me, and I hope that it is resonates with some of you. So let's have a conversation about it. Have a great night.